Okay, so today is March the 28th, 2023. My name is Jasmine and this is my journal entry. I hope everyone is well. Everyone out there, my few listeners I be having, shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in every episode. I hope all is well with you. Matter of fact, if you tune in to every episode, I'm sending you all the love in the world. I hope every day is a sunny day for you. I just hope every day's perfect. I just hope things just go good for you every day. Just thank you for tuning in. Well, life has been pretty good for me. As good as it's going to get, I would say. Um, I had led my first medium develop uh I did let me take that back. No, it is my first development circle. I did at the library. I think I'm going to incorporate Zoom too because I found a way at the library where I could take my laptop, plug it up, and allow people to log in by Zoom to be present for the development group. So you don't have to necessarily be located in my city to join. So I'm excited about that. Um, so I'm gonna start that this month when I do it. But the development circle went well. Three people came. I had two other people that were supposed to come too, but they had to cancel because the weather was pretty funky. We had a lot of rain in the past week, but it turned out to be really good sessions. We got to talking and we practiced and we developed and did some exercises, and I'm really excited about this. So it went really well. Um, I did that, and I'm still teaching the mediumship class. At spiritualaccelerator.com. I just finished up, putting the last touches on my next class, which is about ethics and values because, in this type of work, you should have it. There's a lot of people out here scamming. These fake psychics and mediums out here stealing money from folks, and not doing right. And, what I'm saying, just not giving the best advice. So, I've been seeing a lot of that. I noticed that, like, a few a few I and how can I say this? So like in the past, I've had a few people come to me for a reading and their dilemmas be like another psychic or medium told them something crazy. Like one girl came to me and she was afraid because she was told by the medium that her ancestors were going to punish her and she was in trouble and something bad was going to happen because she didn't have an ancestral altar to honor them. And it was just, and this young lady was petrified. So it's just like having to debunk these things. So I think just if I'm going to teach it or help people develop their gifts, I want to just teach healthy habits now, or like trying not to tell people exactly what to do because, we're here to guide people, not tell them what to do, or, just knowing when you can accept services and when you shouldn't. Like, there comes a time where you have to use your mind and be like, hey, you know what? I might not be able to help this person. Let me refer this person to somebody else. I do it all the time. I send people to other people all the time, especially if I don't feel like I have the capacity to help them with whatever's going on in their life. I would never take money from somebody and attempt to help them knowing that I can't. So I think what I want to make a healthy habit of teaching others that, because a lot of people don't know. And a lot of people get the wrong ideas about psychics. Like a lot of people believe that psychics know everything. They know 100% everything, but that's impossible. We don't know everything. We're not always right. You know, how can we possibly be always right when people have free will? People can make a simple decision, a change of decision can change things. You just never know. But anyhow, that's what I've been working on. Just teaching others about lessons that I've learned along the way while giving readings, and cautions I've had to learn and precautions I had to take, mistakes I've made that came back on me because I gave advice I probably shouldn't have given, or said things that I shouldn't have said. So I always try to, whenever I have to learn hard lessons, I always try to extend the courtesy of teaching people, or being very honest and transparent about my lessons, so that I can help other people, pay it forward. You feel me? Uh love life is, as of now, it's non-existent. I had been out on a few dates with my friend, but our schedules, they just not scheduling. The matching is just not matching. The math isn't mathing, and I know he's probably a little frustrated with me, because when he's available, I'm not necessarily, and then when I'm available, he's got other things to do. So the communication is starting to struggle a little bit. And that happens. We both have a lot going on in our personal lives, and it just it is what it is. What can I say? There are some things right now that I'm really working on, that I just can't place to the side right now. Like these projects that I need to get together, and finish up these books I need to get out. You can stay. These books I need to get out. Um, these projects I need to finish up on. Um, my spiritual work, stuff like that. Excuse me, guys, I got my baby right here with me. You can say a minute. But just, finishing up on that has actually been my focus, is like my spiritual work, the books, not necessarily dating or relationships. I did start going back to church, and I think I'm ready to stop already. But I tell you, it's a thin line with me in church. It's like my spirit calls me there. Like, come on. Like, something in my spirit calls me to church. But when I get in there, I'll be good until stuff happens. And I just be like, never mind. But I did go to church on Sunday, and I really enjoyed myself. So it was a good sermon. I went to church with my friend, Erica. Shout out to her. I went to a church in Middletown, Ohio, called Bethlehem Temple, and they rocked it out. It remind me of church back in the day. It's a smaller church. Everybody knows everybody, all the parents, all the kids, grandparents, everybody knows each other. That is just like a church that is uprooted with families, and everybody knows each other. So the good thing about that is that it's like a family environment. And then it was Women's Day, so they celebrated women. And y'all, sorry if I keep pausing, but my kids are still up, so they keep walking in the room, and I'm like, huh? But it was Women's Day, so they honored like a lot of the elders and a lot of the women in the church, which was absolutely amazing. The service was really good. And then on top of that, they had like a dinner. They had dinner catered in the basement of the church, and the food was really good. It's a company from Cincinnati. Hoo hoo. They're gonna open up a restaurant in Norwood, which is my neighborhood. So hoo hoo. But it was nice. It was really nice, and I got to meet some of the church members. When you a new face, they just introduce themselves like, "Hey, I'm so and so. Hey, I'm so and so." So they made me feel very welcome. Like, oh, you knew. Versus the church that I go, here in Cincinnati, it's a large church. It's huge. I don't know how many members they got, but they have a huge congregation. So like, I could slip in and out unnoticed. I am not slipping in and out of Bethlehem Temple unnoticed. They there's no way. They're gonna know. Like, hey, she's not from here. But it was really nice. I enjoyed myself. But so not that church. I enjoyed it. But just sometimes I have difficulty dealing with people of the church, simply because of who I am. You know, it's like some believe that if you're not, Christian, or if every all of your beliefs or all of your practices are not biblical, then, you know, there's no space for you. And I mean, in respect to that tradition, perhaps it isn't. You know what I mean? Because, in respect to their tradition, people like me, we aren't welcome. People like me that can see, that can, read, that can do some of the things or have some of the practice that I have. We're not necessarily welcome, but I mean, deeply at heart, I just feel like, so everybody, I feel like whether they choose to be a free spiritualist or not, they might have a tradition that they're more drawn to. Like some people, they may be more drawn to like voodoo, or they like maybe the Ifa tradition or Yoruba tradition. And you have people that like other stuff. And at heart, I tend to be more drawn to the, not Christianity itself, but the energy of Christ. That's just where my energy and my heart is. So to say that the whole religion of Christianity resonates with me, would I would be lying to y'all, because it doesn't. But something about the energy of, or the consciousness of Christ himself, that's where I'm kind of drawn to. So I spend a lot of my research and a lot of my time reading about Christ and some of his practices, and readings and workings and things about Christ that are not necessarily in a Bible, but they come from other places, like different writings and books I might look at. I like when Dolores Cannon talks about them and some of the information she got about them through some of her channelings. It's just that my energy is more so in that area versus being completely Christian. So it's kind of hard for me to find a happy medium. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love going to church. I love hearing the choir sing. I love hearing, the pastor preach. I love all of that. But I do notice, I am aware that getting close with some in the congregation kind of places me in a position to be uncomfortable. You know, I had a session with my life coach today, and me and her were chatting, and she made a snot she made like a little side comment. And you know what, when I thought about it, she may have very well been right. I hope she know I'm not the type of person, I don't miss much when having a conversation, especially like if you're shooting a little shot. I'm gonna pick up on it. I always do. And we were chatting, and she was like, some people prefer bigger churches because they can kind of slide in and out unnoticed. And she said some people, she was telling me why she likes smaller churches where everybody knows everybody and the pastor's already always readily available. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I prefer to slide in and out unnoticed. And the comment she made is, she said, that's because you're refusing to be held accountable. And in my mind, I'm like, well, held accountable for what? If it's I'm refusing to be held accountable in the fact that I refuse to fully convert, then yeah, she's right. Because I don't feel, my spirit is just not, I follow my spirit, and my spirit is just not compelling me to convert. But I also wanted to ask myself, a lot of the abuse from my past and a lot of trauma from my past, they come from Christians. So is my apprehension with church and Christianity, the religion itself, has something to do unconsciously with the trauma that I suffered as a kid, or if that's just not my path? I'm leaning more towards that's not my path, because even when I was little, when I went to church, I always had questions. A lot of things never really made sense to me. And the way that I feel and think, and what I get from my meditations, and what I get from receive from my prayers, I think the way that I'm moving now resonates more for me. I guess I'm just one that believes that there is more than one way to, you know, achieve enlightenment. or achieve whatever you're trying to achieve, whatever people trying to achieve, whether it's to make it to higher levels like heavens and stuff like that, or whatever you're trying to do. I just feel like there's more than one way. And I've always felt that way. So to me, I just feel like completely turning myself over to one way is saying that no other way is right. When for some reason I feel deep down in my spirit that I need to remain an open vessel to everything. And don't get me even those who don't believe it all, everything. Um and don't get me wrong, like I have thought about it, I have pondered on it, I have pondered on where I fit. But I can say, like right now, I've just made peace with the fact that I don't really fit anywhere and I'm completely okay with it. So, like, even remarks like hers, like, I'll still go to church on Sundays if I feel like it. You know what I mean? We're in a rule book that doesn't say that just because you got to convert because you go to church. Like, shoot, next year I might go to a synagogue somewhere or a temple somewhere. I'm gonna go wherever my spirit calls me to go. There is this temple here in Cincinnati. It's up by my old house. I used to live in this suburb. It's more northern Cincinnati, and there's a temple there. And if you give them a donation, you can join their meditations and you can join their sessions. I thought about that too. You know, I just go where my spirit calls me to go, and I move as such. And I think everybody should be able to, without judgment. But unfortunately, folks are going to judge you, and I don't care. I'm just gonna move however I what resonates with me, and that's going to overrule. I can have a profound love for God or the universe, or somewhat believe in the energy of Christ, and not be Christian. So, if you're religious and you listening to this, I assure you, I mean no disrespect. My path is my path, and your path is your path. So wherever you believe I'm going, you can believe that's where I'm going after death or whatever y'all believe in. I don't necessarily resonate with the same beliefs, and I'm just tired of sitting quietly about how I feel or what I believe in because I'm confused because everybody feels like I should be one way or the other, and I choose to be me because I'm the only person I know how to be, and I've always been that way. I've always been somewhat of a rogue spirit, a rebellious spirit. I've never been one to do what everybody else is doing or jump on a bandwagon of what everybody else is doing. Jazz is always going to do what's best for jazz, um, or what feels right internally to jazz. Period. And that's just how I am. Besides that, work has been going well. I'm not going to go too far into detail about work because apparently I do have people that listen in to my podcast that I work with, and I would have never known it. I didn't think I don't even talk about my podcast at work, but it's funny because I was at work the other day. I told y'all about the job thing. I ain't tell many people there, but I told y'all, just start. It's my journal. My boss, we with her chilling. Is she cool? I like my boss. She is just a very genuine person. And the funny thing about her is she ain't but like she about 5'1", 5'2", and she's probably about like 110, 15 or 115 pounds soaking wet. She's a tiny thing. But she's one of the strongest nurses I've ever worked with. Her and the ADON. They work great as a team. I never really I work well with them. And I think I work well with them because they don't bother me. They know like I'm more of an introvert or a loner. But if I ever need them for help, they'll always extend help. And whenever I've ever needed support, they've always supported me. And that's what I like about them. So they don't bother me. They know I'm weird and I like to stay to myself, but they always, extend help too. And that's what's great about them. But anyhow, she was like, "So you mentioned this job change on your podcast." And she like, "So now everybody knows." I said, "I only got but like a handful of listeners." She said, "Well, some of them are here." And I was like, Uh-oh. But I ain't getting no trouble for it. But I could have. But y'all know me. I do what I do when I do how I do what I do. I just do. So I ain't gonna talk about it no more until something's set in stone, and then I'll share whatever happens or whatever I decide to do. Cause I don't want to lose a quote blessing unquote before it comes into fruition because I'm talking too damn much to y'all. So y'all, lately my dreams have been off the chain, and one of them I'm not really gonna talk about, but I had this dream, right? That I was on this tour bus. I had auditioned for a movie, and when I got done auditioning for the movie, um I got back on this tour bus and I was sitting next to this man. I'm gonna describe him to y'all so y'all remember this episode. But he was very light complected. Y'all know how I like my men's chocolate. But he was very light complected. He had cornrows. Another thing about me, y'all, is I don't like no man with cornrows. But this fool had some cornrows. He was light skinned. He was so light. The only reason why I knew he was, he had something in him because he had full lips and he had the cornrows. His hair was thicker. So I'm like, okay. So we sat next to each other, but it wasn't nothing like that. It was just we were just sitting next to each other. When it was time for us to get off the tour bus, this is the second dream I done had about being with a male or partner, and we were on the tour bus. But of course, it wasn't the same male; it was different. So when we got up to leave, I was like, "Where's my purse? Oh no, my purse, my purse!" And he reached above the overhead where we were sitting at on the tour bus and grabbed my purse. And it was I remember it was a Michael Kors bag and it had red trimming. I probably wouldn't buy anything red, but this purse had red in it. So this is any if there's anything real about this, that purse was probably a gift because I'm not buying a red. Red is just not my color. But I was like, "Thank you," and then he said something interesting in the dream, and the dream felt so real. And he was like, "I'm here to support you." Because I was like, "Thank you for holding on to my purse." He's like, "I'm here to support you." He said, "I want you to wait for me. I'm coming. I'm getting prepared to come get you, and I love you." And he said that in my ear, and I'm like, "Okay, okay." And then I woke up, but if I was to hear his voice, I would know it was him. But here go the funny part. I dreamed like somebody like that before in the past, and I had about 4 to 5 dreams about this fool boy. And it manifested, but it ended almost just as I mean, it took a long time to manifest, but I kept dreaming about this person, but it didn't last long. So when I was telling my friend about it, she's like, "Well, maybe that's a partner, maybe that's him." And I'm like, "Well, I don't know if I necessarily believe in the idea like, oh, girl, or oh, bitch, girl, that's him. That is him." I don't believe in that mess no more. I just feel like, if somebody comes along and we vibe, we just gonna vibe until it just don't work. And if it don't work, it don't work. And if we together, we together. There's no more me being antsy looking at the future. Like, oh my God, what's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? How it's gonna be? I don't have the capacity to give a shit. But I'm like, okay, so if I have a partner coming in, thank you. I'm very thankful and I'm very happy. So I don't want to seem like I'm unappreciative. And that's what that dream, I felt like that dream was telling me. Who? I don't know. But it is what it is. He was light skinned in the dream. Everything about him was the opposite of what I usually go for. But maybe I do need something different. These chocolate men done broke my heart too much. I need to stay away from them. It's like, nah. You end up avoiding one type and that ends up being your type. That's the crazy part. But yeah, that was my dream. And then the person that I used to dream about all the time, that I told y'all that manifested, then it didn't work, which I haven't really been giving him my energy, so I haven't spoken about him. But he was in the next part of my dream, and it was me. It was my best friend. It was his best friend, and it was his kid's mom. We were all in the car, and we were headed to this store called Christian Brothers. I don't think we have a store like that. And I'm like, I told my best friend in the dream, like, wow, how did they have a Christian bookstore that's open third shift? And she's like, they sell more than Christian books, Jazz. They sell everything. And then that guy, we'll call him Jonathan. So Jonathan, his kid's mom was like, she was like, well, I'm gonna go in here and buy me a new man. So she took a shopping cart and she went to put a man in her shopping cart. She put like a grown ass human male in her shopping cart. This dream was weird. And my friend was like, I'm going to buy some slippers. So everybody had something they wanted out the store. This store was like the club. It had a line going out the club. So when I pulled up and we got out the car, I had to go buy a card because you had to swipe a card to get in, kind of like Sam's Club. And there he was. There was Jonathan. And in my dream, he just looked like he looked like he had lost some weight, like he was more in shape. He was muscular, but he was much thinner than he was the last time I seen him. Which who knows? I haven't seen him. It's been almost a year. No, June to be a year that the last time I've seen him in the flesh. It'll be June. But yeah, he was up there and I spoke to him, and when I went to give him a hug, he tried to give me a kiss, and I kind of pulled back, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And then he was like, "I'm trying to make a truce, and I want us to be friends. I want to apologize to you for, any hurt that you feel like I've caused, and I would just really like for us to be friends again. I want us to have a friendship." And at first I was hesitant in the dream. It was weird. It was like I just kept walking around him saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. While walking in circles. It could because that's my day to day. I don't know whether or not to like this person or to like saying I'm just kidding. There's no hate over here. But anyhow, then we appeared at this restaurant, like dinner table, and he was like, well, what do you want to eat? I'll pay for your food. And I said, well, nothing. And I was like, because I'm trying to take the baby to a place. And the baby, of course, is somebody, it's a child that I'm talking about that has cancer that I tell you I've been praying for, that I'm still praying for. But there was I in the dream I indicated there was a healing place in the spirit realm that I wanted to take her to be healed of her cancer. But I told him that I needed to eat as light as possible or even fast so that I can get her there. So I told him I wasn't going to eat. And he was like, you got to eat something. And he was like, here, order a salad. And he said, just eat something light. Don't eat anything too heavy that'll weigh your spirit down so you can, detach and astral travel easily to get to that place. So he orders me this salad. It's a beautiful salad. It's very colorful. It looks fresh. It's got like these pieces of fish in it. And it was that type of salad. It had fish in it. As a matter of fact, this funny thing is the two fish were shaped. It's funny. Every time I have a dream about fish, there's always two fish in there somewhere that's like facing each other like the sign of Pisces. It's weird. But the fish were like it was cut up in chunks, but it was like lined up around the sides of the plate, like the astrological sign Pisces. I don't understand what that means in my dreams, but it's happened. I've had several dreams like that where that Pisces sign is somewhere either hanging on a wall or it's always somewhere in my dreams. So anyhow, I tasted the salad. I was like, oh my gosh, the salad is delicious and it's so fresh. And he was like, yeah, he said that'll give you some energy to get there so it won't drain you, but it's light enough to where you should be able to fly easily on your trip. Um, and he was just giving me spiritual advice. And then I woke up. So yeah, that's how bizarre my dreams have been. It's just been crazy. But some of them I had like they already like kind of came true or coming true. So I definitely know there's, something special about these dreams that I'm having. So that's what's up. Anyhow, I done talked y'all heads off for about 30 minutes. I'm about to hop up off here and more than likely try to get some rest because I gotta be back to work tomorrow, back at it again. And I shall holler at you guys soon. Don't forget Tell yourself you love yourself every day, 11 times in the morning and 11 times at nighttime. And just love on yourself and make decisions that are best for you, your mental health and well being, physical health and well being, spiritual health and well being. With that being said, I wish you all well. Peace.